Hello viewers, welcome to Sea Otter Classic, held in Monterey at the Laguna Seca race circuit. And behind me, if you're a racing fan, is a famous corkscrew. But the circus is down there. I'm going to show you some amazing bikes, and we'll start with round up some cool new road bikes. So let's dive straight in with something new from Parley Cycles.
Hi, I'm John Harrison. I'm with Parley Cycles. Super excited to introduce our new bike. This is the Parley Ure. We've been working on it for years, and we're so delighted to finally get it out to market. We really wanted to get a product for the all-road space to fit in our current lineup, from between high performance with our RZ7 and gravel on the Chabaco side. You know, the all-road category, I think, is very exciting for us. A lot of our riders are telling us that they want to spend the majority of their time on asphalt and want to go fast, want to be able to do a long-distance ride, want to be able to run a Century and a Sportif, but also want to just have something that they can dash off into the woods with and cut across a field and just go and have some fun with. And so we really spent a ton of time on this bike trying to design something that was really lightweight, fast, responsive, high performance, but still something that was a little tough and rugged that you could throw about and have some fun with. So a couple of really exciting things about this bike is that it's actually produced, the entire bike's produced in a single mold. So it's a single piece monocoque construction, very unique for the bike industry. And that has enabled us to do some really cool things with the ride comfort. So it's given us a lot more flexibility in how we've engineered the way the bike moves, and with the combination of the carbon fiber layup and the monocoque construction, we've been able to engineer a bike that is 20% more comfortable than any bike we've produced in the past. And Parleys have always been known as just one of the most amazing riding bikes in the world. So we're super proud of this, and it rides just amazing. A couple of other cool things here is we really spent a lot of time on fit for this bike. So normal Parley things, you can order your bar width and stem length and crank length and bar, setback on the post and saddle, all that stuff you just customize when you order from us, and we'll make sure it's perfect for you when you get it. But we've also done a lot of work with the actual physical design of the bike itself and the layup. Things like the quite sloping top tube enables us to build a bike here that is more accessible for more riders. We really wanted to make a bike that would fit women well, and just fit a wider spectrum of riders. So all open standards here. So you've got standard T47 bracket, you've got a UDH rear hanger there, round post. You've got a number of different cockpit integration options. Here we're showing the bike with a Pro Vibe bar, which I think looks stunning on this bike. But the bike will ship with a number of different caps and adapters to be able to run an NV bar or an FSA kit or a variety of different open standards. So just get the bike feeling and riding exactly like you want.
Hello everyone, my name is Aidan from 51 Bikes, and this is a bike we're launching here at the show. This is Seca. So this is our interpretation of a pure road bike, but for normal people with realistic stack heights. A lot of what we see here is derived from our custom program. So nice, comfortable position, but very, very dynamic, assertive handling characteristics. Aero optimized and fully integrated cockpit. Standard 27.2 seat post, traditional color. And again, the seat stays that are taken directly from our custom program, so super comfortable. And I suppose one of the biggest features is the weight. It's only 690 grams in this large size. So I think the medium is in and around the 665, 670 grams. So exceptionally light, but not at the cost of rigidity or any sensations. So yeah, we're pretty excited about it.
So it's race bike and light, but more relaxed fit.
Absolutely. I mean, personally, I'm not a fan of when you have, 100mm head tube and the same amount in spacers. So this is just kind of coming at it from a more common sense approach. Slammed as it is today, you can get very, very low in aero, but there's no need to put an excessive amount of spacers on it.
And you're best known for making custom frames, bespoke frames. This is your first kind of stock road bike?
Exactly. We've been building custom frames now for almost a decade. So we've built in excess of 500 frames now. And we'd like to think that this is essentially a distillation of all our learnings from all those frames brought into one, and just very sensible geometry that works for everyone, but a bike that corners like it's on rails.
And do you think it's a sort of bike that most sort of cyclists, if not racing, actually need these days?
Absolutely. I'll go one step further and be even more controversial if you like. I think in general, the bikes that the top guys are racing are probably not racy enough, and the bikes that most people are buying and riding are too racy. So there you go. That's why we've always invested and really believed in this hybrid manufacturing model, where we have complete bespoke solution and then intelligent stock sizing.
And the bike here, this is a fairly kind of typical build you expect to see in terms of tyres and wheels and...
Yeah, I think it goes very well. We've got a set of 303s on it. I think that's another trend we see, where maybe, certainly in Europe and the US, the rim depths start to come back down again to kind of 38, 40 mil max. I think it looks very well with these type of rims.
And its tyre clearance is 40 mil?
Tyre clearance up to 40, so this one's
optimised for a different tyre width?
Yeah, we've kind of built it around 28 to 32. So our viewpoint on this is Pogacar's all riding 32s, so civilians like you, me, and probably a lot of people riding this should be riding at least 32s or 34s. We've future-proofed it in that it will actually take up to 40 mil tyres, so maybe some hard-packed gravel race events as well.
Two details that stand out. We have a round seat post with a seat clamp, which I love, but full internal routing.
Yeah.
So interesting combination there.
Absolutely. So again, just from a kind of common sense approach, I think from a consumer point of view, they absolutely want integration. They want clean lines. They want aero optimization. So this is our own cockpit that we've developed. It's extremely comfortable. It's got a negative 3 degree sweep here. So as you are on the drops, your actually hand is in a more favorable position. Very, very comfortable. On all our bikes, we were one of the first people to adopt the T47 standard, so threaded BB cup. So if it ever needs any servicing, it's a simple job. Just pull it out, clean the threads, re-grease the threads, and back in. So no creaking.
And back to handlebar, different widths, stem lengths you can choose.
Yeah, so we've a designated cockpit size for each size, but we also have the ability to ship a wider variety size. So anybody that wants, for example, an 80 mil stem but a 44 bar, it's also a possibility.
And how narrow can you go? 36?
38 currently, and we were looking at 36. I think that's definitely a trend that we're looking at as well. I think 38, 40, 42, I mean, we're no longer seeing 46s in the marketplace, very few 44s, so it seems to be that 38 to 42 is where the pendulum seems to stop for most people.
I'm Mike Yakubovich from Bridge Bike Works here at Sea Otter Classic. Bridge is a carbon fiber manufacturer based in Toronto, Canada, so we pretty much do everything in-house, cut our own tooling, do our own laminate schedule, build the carbon bikes, paint the carbon bikes. We're one of the only North American fork manufacturers, so we have our own fork on the bike. This model, our first model, is called Surveyor. It's more or less a race bike with 40 mil tire clearance, so something that feels really good, set up as a road race or Grand Fondo bike, but also has the tire clearance to handle fast gravel. We like to think of it a bit as a modern classic, where we have traditional elements like the external seat collar and front derailleur clamp that make a lot of sense from an engineering perspective and usability perspective, but then kind of modern in terms of the weight, the slight nod to aerodynamics with the internal front end, really beefy down tube bottom bracket chainstays, so really, really good power transfer on the bike. Quite a short rear end. We actually offset the seat tube slightly in front of the bottom bracket to keep that rear end tight, and again, helps it feel really good as a road bike. The bottom bracket features our internal T47 threaded carbon technology, so we're the only bottom bracket on the market that actually is threaded carbon fiber. We don't bond in an aluminum shell afterwards, so that's lighter. It's actually, we think, just as strong or stronger. It's repairable if there were ever an issue. So that's kind of a unique technology to us. We basically, I guess we met last year at Sea Otter. We had some pre-production samples, and we're now excited to say we're into production. So we're building and shipping customer and dealer bikes. You can go to bridgebikeworks.com for build specs and info. and actually at Sea Otter launching what we're calling Color Span. So it's our custom color program. This is a kind of modern metallic green bike that we painted for the show. And essentially what's unique about our color program is it's unlimited. So we have a lot of kind of stock color choices, 5 stock colors, a whole lot of upgrade color options, but then you can do pretty much anything you want. If you have a car or a favorite sweater or just a Pantone you love, we can do custom paint mixes and paint them in-house, so you can pretty much have your bike any way you want it.
As you said, we met a year ago when you showed the bike the first time with the carbon threaded bottom brackets. A year later, the bike's in production now. What sort of journey has it been in that 12 months? Has it been smooth sailing? Has it been bumps in the road?
I would say somewhere in between, you know, some challenges, but maybe nothing we wouldn't have expected as a young manufacturer getting production dialed. So testing internally and ISO testing our fork was a lot of time and really made us a better company in terms of the repeatability of how we build carbon parts. A fork takes a lot of stress and is a reasonably complex shape, you know, up through the crown and into the steerer. So it made us a better carbon fiber producer that I think carried over to our frame production, where the quality of our parts coming out of the press or out of curing is really, you know, among the best in the world. We don't have to do a whole lot of post-finishing work to make the carbon look good, which obviously saves us time, but we think also just means it's a better quality carbon part, potentially lighter weight, better ride quality, better consistency in terms of avoiding any future warranties with cracks or problems. So we're really very proud of the quality of the bike. I think the price point, it's just over $4,000 US for the frame set. We kind of, our humble brag is we think once price is considered, we're building the best bike in the world. Even price point aside, we're really proud of what we're producing in Toronto. Super high-end team of engineers, composite experts that mostly come from aerospace and motorsports. So, you know, kind of an example of doing it all in-house with a really high level of attention to detail. And we think a smartly designed bike in terms of the category, basically something that you're seeing a lot of other brands now releasing bikes that are kind of similar, this sort of fast, fun, 40 mil tire clearance race bike, so to speak. But we've tested this as a road bike, as a gravel bike. Our junior engineer last year finished 3rd at Unbound in the Open 200 category aboard one of these. So, you know, one of the worst Unbound years ever. So, you know, we know it can handle some rough riding, but it's also light, fast, really feels great in kind of a variety of road to all road to gravel conditions. So we're super stoked on the results.
It might seem a silly question, but why make your own fork? Like, why make life hard yourself by making your own fork? Every other
You want the really honest answer, David? If we knew how hard it was, maybe we wouldn't have done it. The true answer, though, is number one, when we started designing the bike, there was no internally routed all-road fork on the market. There are now. 2, we really wanted to be able to hone in the stiffness and ride quality that, you know, when you just buy an Envy or a Columbus fork, those may be good forks, but you're getting what they build with really no input into how it feels, how it rides. I would say 3, just geometry. I'm a bit of a geometry nerd. We were really obsessed with how our trail number, or kind of front end handling, was across the size range, how the front center, so basically your toe overlap room, was across the size range. And by designing our own fork, we could do 2 different rakes that are specific to our geometry chart. And honestly, a little bit of it was just like to challenge ourselves and to say, well, we're a composites shop. We're making the frames. Why would we just buy someone else's fork that is probably made in China, maybe Taiwan? So a little bit of it, you know, was somewhat to flip things on its head. There's a lot of great domestically produced bikes that are all pretty much using overseas forks. And we were kind of the mindset that, well, we're a high-end carbon fiber producer. Why would we not want to produce our own fork? So yeah, honestly, we think this bike stacks up with almost anything out there, from that kind of performance, quality, and call it livability kind of Venn diagram. You know, there's bikes that are a little bit lighter or a little bit stiffer, but we think that kind of the all-round kind of attributes, like I kind of half joke sometimes that like we were trying to design a bike that was a 9 out of 10 in every category. So it's like, yes, there are more aero bikes, there are stiffer bikes, there are lighter bikes, but it's so close in every category that we think not having to compromise, build a super stiff bike that's not comfortable, or a full-on aero bike that doesn't, let's say have the handling and ride quality kind of goals that we had. We think we created something that, it's just a bike that makes people happy, that's still really performance oriented, decently aggressive on the fit side for this category. Like, it's still a bike where you can kind of come close to replicating a road, typical road race fit. But again, with geometry, we designed that front center just to be slightly longer, where you can ride technical terrain, not get a ton of toe overlap, run a slightly shorter stem if you need that kind of less reach kind of endurance position. So yeah, we think competition is good. There's a lot of good options out there, but we think we stack up really well.
Right, just a quick break from all the shiny bikes to tell you about Cams, who kindly sponsored today's video. These are the guys that call if you have an accident at riding a bike and get knocked off. Now, clearly nobody plans to have an accident at riding, but sometimes, unfortunately, it does happen. And when it does, well, it's sensible to make sure you have good cover in place. And I love the fact that Cams are actually cyclists themselves and know and appreciate how important our bikes are to us. So they aim to get you back on the road as quickly as possible. And they do this by arranging an upfront bike replacement from your local bike shop to the value of your broken bike. That sounds pretty amazing, right? They also put you in touch with specialist cycling solicitors to recover any losses and deal with compensation for injuries. And that helps you to manage what can be quite a stressful thing to go through. So let the professional take care of it all whilst you ride your replacement bike. So if you want to find out more or make a claim, there's a link down below in the description. They also offer a free initial consultation as well, so it really is worth giving them a call. Right, back to all the shiny bikes.
Hi, I'm Cody. I'm here with Blackheart Bike Co. This is our brand new road aluminum, just launched today. You can see it here set up with the brand new Hunt Limitless wheels, the SRAM Red 1x. The tagline for this bike is the pulse of speed. You can see the decal behind the seat tube. It is meant to be designed for the person that has their finger on the pulse of maybe style or their city, their surroundings. It's meant to be kind of that entry level, I wouldn't say fully entry level, but a bike that is more approachable for, at a lower price point, but still offers all the features that you want in a modern day road bike. It's also aluminum, so it will dent before it cracks. So if you do go down in a race or, a car cuts you off in the streets, you don't have to get a new bike or spend $800 to have somebody fix it. It's a dent and it'll still be structurally sound. Also has an integrated cockpit, which for bikes kind of in the same range is fairly new. So, for $2,000 for the frame 4 seat posts, you do have the option of running an integrated handlebar system as well. The clearance, it fits up to a 32 road tire. You could still run this bike off-road if you were ambitious, but this is very much a road bike.
Is it the same geometry as the road tie then?
Same exact geometry as the road tie.
Okay.
It does have a T47 bottom bracket and a SRAM UDH derailleur, so you can run transmission on it if you'd like.
Okay. Talk to me about the finish. It's a very unique finish.
Yeah, so for the new road aluminum and the gravel aluminum models, we are offering a free custom color when you purchase the frame. So all these frames are coming unpainted, and then you choose your Cerakote option. So it's a Cerakote finish. It's very durable. It's not like a traditional paint. There's no gloss. It's more of a matte. With the frame set, you do get the custom paint option.
How many options of colours?
To my knowledge, 147.
147.
147.
So they make each one fairly unique.
Yes, yeah. So you can really go crazy with it, and you know, our goal is to eventually offer this decal, or we have a more traditional logo placement as well. So customers will be able to choose from different logo packages.
Is it available now then?
It is available for pre-order now. Shipment will arrive probably in May is what we're hoping for.
Pricing,
Yeah, pricing will be for the Envy, it's an Envy fork, the frame, and the seat post will be $1,999, and that includes custom paint of the frame. You can color match the fork for an additional charge, and then the bar and stem is a $300 upgrade.
It looks nice. It looks really nice.
Thank you.
Simple, understated, modern.
Yeah, and you know, I think for us, we've always wanted to create bikes that were approachable and made sense. We didn't want to just follow trends, and for us, it's a future-proof bike in the sense that there's no proprietary components. You know, you can find these parts anywhere, and it's really easy to upgrade if you wanted to, you know, swap the seat post or the bar and stem, or you know, the group set, obviously. So, yeah, just trying to make smart bikes that aren't a pain in the butt.
Hey, this is Fergus from Ritchey, and I am excited to share with you our new Monte Belloo Randonneur bike, endurance road. This bike is designed for long rides, being comfortable. You want to do some light touring, anything from 200K to 1200. This is actually the bike that I rode for Paris-Brest-Paris. You know, a 4-year event where you ride 1,200 kilometers from Paris to Brest and back. And it's the inspiration for this bike, so truly built from and inspired by the ride. Some unique features on it are a new fork for us. This is our Brevet fork. Has internal dynamo routing. It has mounts for fenders, as well as this little kind of porteur rack, or if you want to run a lowrider mount rack on it as well. So it makes it very versatile that way. To me, this is kind of the bike that I just want to be out all day on. Still uses our proprietary triple butted logic tubing, and let's see, clearance for 35C tires with fenders or 40C without. Yeah, I think you know, what differentiates this bike from the Road Logic is there's more stack, there's a little bit longer wheelbase as a result of taking a bigger tire, and of course fenders. I know a lot of our customers have been begging, maybe it's not the right word, but asking for fenders, so this is it.
It's the only bike in the whole Sea Otter with mud guards, or fenders, should I say.
Is it really?
It really stands out. Also, that I've seen so far, so kind
Sick.
of cool.
Oh, that's great. Yeah. You know, I poo-pooed fenders for a long time, and then I realized I was tired of being soggy. So, yeah, and I really love this classic build. I mean, it's all of our classic components, and they look great. I'm really proud of how good they look, and it's really lightweight quality product that I'm proud of. And you know, if you want to do a real sporty build and have this silver aesthetic, you can absolutely do that with this bike.
Hello everybody, Nate Bradley from Moots. We're happy to be out here in sunny California. So we have the first couple bikes are completely unique bikes. We have a Route 45 that we made for Billy Sinkfurt that we hosted at the Made Show. So it's a very unique finish, very unique build. It's a one of one. You guys may have seen this already out and about in the world, or hopefully seen it online, but we've got a lot of custom details here that have tied multi-tones of purple, but it's on our well-established Route 45 frame design, you know, endurance gravel all around our stock 58, which is some unique details and features. So our next bike is as well a very famous bike. It was used on a bike race last year called the Inferno Bike Race from Annecy to Menton in France. It was ridden by Simon Richardson of GCN. He supposedly said it was the hardest bike race he's ever done, to climb over all those mountains in 2 days, but we were happy to have him aboard the Moot CRD. So the CRD stands for Complete Race Design. That's our premium or flagship race model on both the road version, being the Moots, and the gravel version being the Route CRD. It has a double-butted tube set on the front end, compressed geometry, so it keeps you in a tight, compact position. So very good for climbing, very good for crit racing. And then we have a lot of special details on these bikes with 6.4, pencil thin seat stays, 3D printed dropout pair, T47 bottom bracket, fully internal routed through the handlebars, the stem, through the head tube, and the brake releases out of the frame right at the chainstay, right in front of the caliper, and out of the fork leg right in front of the caliper. So super clean, super modern, and yeah, probably our, this is our Ferrari in our lineup. So
I like that. Hopefully you enjoyed this video, and if you did, make sure to subscribe because loads more content coming from Sea Otter Classic over the next few days. Gravel bikes and mountain bikes and some cool, quirky and funky equipment. So watch this space.